Hey guys, and welcome back to the Healthy Not Complicated podcast. My name's Kait, and I'm a nutritionist who helps people to reverse insulin resistance naturally. And today I'm sharing something pretty special, my ultimate morning routine for reversing insulin resistance. And this is so important because how you start your day has a ripple effect on the rest of the day. Think about it. If you grab your phone first thing in the morning, you're scrolling, you have a coffee and a muffin right away, you rush out the door, you're starting your day on the back foot. Your blood sugar spikes, your stress is up, and you're running behind. And by lunchtime, you're wondering why you're starving and craving sugar. And those are just the effects you can see. What's going on inside your body when you start your day like this? It's even worse. On the other hand, if you're starting your day with intention instead of reaction, you're changing how your metabolism functions. And for the better. Your blood sugar stays steadier, your energy stays steadier, and you feel better overall. And inside your body, your insulin and your cortisol are going to stay lower. So in today's video, we're going over the ultimate morning routine for reversing insulin resistance. But that doesn't mean you have to do everything that we talk about. Pick and choose what will fit into your lifestyle, what you can easily incorporate, and that's what's going to make the biggest difference. You don't have to do everything, but choose a few things from this routine and you're gonna see a big difference. All right, so the first step, when you wake up, don't grab your phone right away. I know, it's so tempting, but think about what happens when you do this. Before you even stand up, your brain is flooded with notifications, messages. There is a lot going on in that tiny device. You're starting your day with a reaction instead of intention. And here's the science part. When you start your day checking your phone, you're spiking your dopamine and your cortisol. That stress hormone cortisol, it's already high in the morning, and this is normal. It should bump up at this time. It does this because it helps your body to wake up and be alert in the morning, so that's not a problem on its own. But if you add more stress on top of that, your blood sugar regulation can take a hit. That means you're hungrier, crankier, and more likely to crave sugar later. Instead, it's a good idea to keep your phone in a different room overnight. That way, at the very least, you have to get up out of bed before you can check it. Even better if you can put on airplane mode or mute notifications so they don't pop up right away when you grab it. And that's where intention comes in. Try to do something like reading, meditating. You can even journal for a couple minutes, go for a quick walk. Doesn't have to be for a while, but try to do something that's intentional. Like I said, again, instead of something that's reactional. Then once you've done that, even for just 5-10 minutes, you can check your phone. But even this small tweak can make a really big difference for your hormones, cortisol, insulin included. The next step is sunlight. So as soon as you can after you wake up, try to get outside. Morning sunlight is like a reset button for your circadian rhythm. And this is gonna help you to wake up and be alert in the morning. It's gonna help to set your hormones for the day. And it's also gonna help you sleep better that night. Because when we're exposed to light first thing in the morning, this sets a timer for when melatonin and sleep hormones will be released later that evening. And this is because light is one of the biggest triggers for syncing our circadian rhythm, for keeping our hormones balanced. And there's also an insulin resistance connection, which is why we're talking about this. A good circadian rhythm means better insulin sensitivity. Your body handles glucose more efficiently when this clock is aligned. Plus, getting this sunlight in your eyes, not through a window, it has to be direct. And by that, I don't mean you're staring directly at the sun, but glass actually filters out the wavelengths that help to set your circadian rhythm and that help to boost serotonin. And the serotonin boost, of course, is gonna put you in a better mood. Who doesn't want that? Now, even better if you can add movement to the sunlight exposure. A 10 to 15 minute walk outside gives you double the benefits. You're getting sunlight and muscle contraction. This helps to shuttle glucose into your muscles, which is going to help to improve insulin sensitivity and glucose uptake throughout the day. Like we spoke about earlier in this episode, there's that ripple effect. And this is just a small habit that, again, makes such a big difference. All you have to do is get outside, go for a quick walk. Now let's talk about coffee. Because personally, I love coffee. It has been shown to have a lot of benefits, insulin sensitivity being one of them, but you have to use it in the right way. And this starts from when you have your first sip. You don't want to have it first thing in the morning, right after waking. You want to wait at least 90 minutes until you have it. Because like I said before, when you wake up, your cortisol naturally rises. But if you add caffeine on top of that spike, it can cause it to go even higher. You get the jitters and then a mid-morning crash. If you wait until after this 90 minutes, the caffeine hit is smoother. It's not as harsh and you're gonna get more benefits from it. So what to do instead of having your coffee first thing in the morning? Hydrate. Have a big glass of water, bonus points if you add in some electrolytes, and a tablespoon or two of apple cider vinegar. Sodium, potassium, and magnesium are the electrolytes you want to focus on. They're going to keep your energy up and your cravings down. Proper hydration also helps with better insulin sensitivity. So don't start your day dehydrated. Don't start your day caffeinating right away. Focus on that hydration portion and have the coffee a little bit later. Now, apple cider vinegar and vinegar in general has been shown to help with insulin sensitivity and glucose control. And when you have it first thing in the morning, again, that's gonna help you throughout the whole day. It also helps with digestion. Just make sure you're not having it straight, dilute it in water, add in the electrolytes, and you're gonna feel awesome. Next, let's talk about movement. So we already spoke about how you could incorporate a walk into your morning routine. This is also going to help to reduce stress, and it can lower your fasting glucose if it was a little bit elevated when you first woke up. Your muscles are basically using the excess glucose that's in your bloodstream for energy, so that will bring your blood sugar down a little bit. So if you can go for a walk, that's awesome. But even better if you have the time to incorporate some resistance training now. Lifting weights, body weight exercises, resistance bands. You can go to the gym or do it at home. Any movement here that's using your muscles is gonna help because our muscles are like glucose sponges. The more you use them, the more sensitive they become to insulin. And this is gonna help with controlling your blood sugar and also improving your insulin sensitivity long term. Again, this doesn't have to be a long session. We're not talking about extremes here. We really wanna focus on small habits because these are gonna make a big difference over time. So even if you can do 15 minutes of some body weight exercises at home, or if you can go to the gym for just 30 minutes, that's gonna make a big difference. Now, something that I'm often asked is, should you eat before a workout? And it depends on your goals and your current metabolic health. So in the context of today's video, we're focusing on reversing insulin resistance. And for people in this demographic, not eating beforehand is gonna be ideal in general. When you're working out fasted, this is when your body is more likely to dip into your stored energy. Elite athletes, bodybuilders, that is a completely different story. Carbs can be beneficial for people who are metabolically healthy and have different goals that aren't centered around reversing insulin resistance and improving metabolic health. But for the average person, and unfortunately the average person is insulin resistant, fasted workouts are the ideal. That said, if you feel like you can't perform to the best of your ability during your workout and you do need to eat something beforehand, that is fine. There's nuance here. Everyone's different. You need to figure out what works best for you. Because if you eat before your workouts and you're seeing results, if your insulin resistance is reversing, if you're losing weight, if you're progressing towards your goals, then that's working for you. Keep doing what you're doing. Because if you do need a few carbs to get you through a workout, the best time to eat carbohydrates if you're insulin resistant is honestly around a workout because, like I said, our muscles, they're like glucose sponges, so they're able to use that energy pretty efficiently at this time. They can actually use glucose without insulin, so this is why it's so beneficial for insulin resistance and improving insulin sensitivity. So don't feel bad if you need to eat around your workout to feel your best. That's totally fine. Like I said at the start of this episode, you need to pick and choose things from this video that are going to work best for you, that you can actually stick to, that you can incorporate. There's no point trying to be perfect because that's not going to happen. If you can stick to something for a week, if you can stick to something for 2 weeks, but then you crash and burn after that, what's the point? Small changes. That's what we're focusing on. So after a little bit of movement, now you're probably going to want to have a shower. And this is a good time to add in some cold exposure. And this can mean just finishing your shower with at least 60 seconds of cold water. I know this isn't my favorite practice, but it is very beneficial and can help to improve your metabolic health and your insulin sensitivity. It's brutal, but it works. Cold exposure activates brown fat, which helps regulate blood sugar and our metabolism. It can also lower inflammation and improve stress resilience, so you respond better to stressful situations in the future. And honestly, you do feel amazing after it. You might not feel amazing in the moment, but once you get out of the shower, you feel pretty good. Now, quick note here, because we're talking about showers. Recently, I've been using Beast Mode soap. And just like with food, natural is usually better. A lot of soaps are filled with chemical and junk that we absolutely don't want. Our skin is our largest organ. It absorbs a lot. So we really need to be at least a little bit mindful of what we're putting on it. Beast Mode is made from beef tallow. It's clean, it's natural, and it smells great. I'll put the link to shop it in the description box down below. Now let's talk about breakfast, or more specifically, delaying it. If you haven't already eaten before your workout, then pushing your breakfast back just a little bit further can help to extend your fasting window. This gives your body more time for your insulin levels to come down to stabilize, and more time for your body to be in a fat-burning state. Now, you don't have to skip breakfast completely. Even just pushing it back an hour or two can have a big impact on your insulin sensitivity, on your blood sugar control. We're not talking about extreme fasting here, just giving your metabolism a little bit of a break. You've already fasted overnight, and if you can extend that even just an hour or two more, that can really help with your insulin sensitivity. But again, if you wake up and you are starving, if you really find intermittent fasting hard, then this isn't for you. There's nuance. It's not black and white. I actually find that a lot of people do really well pushing their dinner a little bit earlier and extending their fasting window on that end. Again, not extreme fasting. We're talking about having a 12 to 16, maybe 18-hour fasting window. Consistency is key when it comes to intermittent fasting. Yes, you can mix up the times and what time of day you're fasting, but just doing it over the long term, that's what matters. Now, when you do eat your first meal, protein is the priority. Aim for at least 30 grams of protein in your first meal, but if you can get 40 or 50 grams in, even better. Protein stabilizes your blood sugar, it helps to keep you full, and it helps you to maintain and build muscle, which in turn improves insulin sensitivity. Now, most people make the mistake of having a high carb breakfast. They reach for cereal, toast, oats, that sort of thing. If you can keep your carbs low, that is going to be the best option. Instead, reach for things like eggs, Greek yogurt, smoked salmon, avocado, foods that are high in protein and high in healthy fat. Add in some low carb veggies or low sugar fruit, and you're good to go. Now, I'm not saying you can't have any carbs at breakfast. If you do want to have a slice of bread or that sort of thing, that's totally fine. The key here is getting enough protein because that's going to help to slow down the digestion of carbs. Now, if you can cut back the carbs, even better, but you don't have to. Speaking of blood sugar support, today's episode is brought to you by Good Idea. Good Idea is a sparkling drink that's been clinically tested to reduce blood sugar spikes from meals. It contains amino acids and chromium that make your cells more sensitive to insulin. I love drinking it when I'm eating out or even at home with higher carb meals. It's fizzy, refreshing, and actually supports your blood sugar instead of spiking it. Head to healthcoachkait.com/good idea to check it out, and make sure to use code KATE10 for 10% off your first order. Now, here's the cool part. When you stack these habits, they multiply. You've hydrated, got sunlight, moved your body, eaten protein, avoided stress, and all of that makes it so much easier to keep making good choices. Your blood sugar stays steadier all day long, your cravings are lower. If you do have cravings, they're less intense. You're more energized, you're less likely to reach for sugar at 3 p.m. You've built momentum before the day has even really started. And how good is that? And remember, you don't have to do everything we spoke about today. Pick 2 or 3 of these habits and try to incorporate them over the next week. Maybe it's delaying coffee, going for a walk, and making sure you're getting enough protein at breakfast. These are really small habits to incorporate. They don't take a lot of effort, they're not expensive, they're basically free. And once you've mastered those, add another habit into the mix. This is called habit stacking, layering small doable actions until they become your new normal. All right, so that's my ultimate morning routine for reversing insulin resistance. Wake up with purpose, get sunlight, hydrate before caffeine, move your body, maybe mix in a cold shower, delay breakfast, and when you do eat, make sure you're getting enough protein. Now, if you can do even just 1 or 2 of these things, you are going to feel a difference. You're going to see some small results. Obviously, the more you can do, the better, but there is a tipping point. Again, if you're not able to stick to it, then it doesn't really matter. Yes, you might get some short-term results, but what we're focusing on here is long-term results. We want to reverse insulin resistance and keep it reversed without having to stick to some extreme diet or extreme routine. But anyways, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. If you did enjoy it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're watching or listening on Spotify, you can give me a review. Ideally a 5-star review. If you've listened this long, I hope you liked the episode. Thank you guys for watching or listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.